Okay, this is a one-time thing. If her great butt doesn't show up, I'm not going to do this again. Every time I do Star Trek videos, she fits a fit because with the book videos, I've got her cat bed and she can come over to me. And the other book videos were done on the floor. But the Star Trek videos, there's no place for her to go. And she pitches a fit. So this is a one-time video here. And if she doesn't show up, I will not do this again. If you could please hit the like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. I'm Christina, Kristina. This is where I read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy smancy stuff going on here. And for whatever reason, in season 2, they did aired the videos out of film order. So right now we are working on Twisted. And there is no voiceover at all for this episode, for the entry of this episode. But apparently it's Kess's birthday. And this is not one of my more favorite episodes. Just show your butt to the entire world. Are you happy that I'm here on the floor? There may be some, as long as she doesn't step on the keyboard. We've had problems with keyboard interruptions. Yes, ma'am. So, you showed up, huh? Don't get tangled in the wires now, you turkey. Let's see. So, we're starting out on the holodeck in that French place. And she goes in, and there's the lights are turned off. She can't see anybody. It's what you call an old-fashioned surprise party. It's her birthday. So the lights come on, everybody jumps up. Nelix gives her a big hug. He says, "Happy birthday, my sweet." Janeway says, "Happy birthday, Kex." Nelix says, "Imagine 2 years old today. If you ask me, you don't look a day over 1. Why was everybody hiding?" "Oh, that's an old Earth custom. A surprise party," Paris says. Wrong one. Sorry. So, and of course the doctor's there too. Sorry, I missed that. And the whole gang is there, and they're all saying happy birthday. Then we transferred to the bridge. So Kim is on the bridge with Tuvok. Tuvok's in command right now. And Kim says, "I've completed the sensor diagnostic, Lieutenant. All sensors are fully operational. I've recalibrated the accelerator relays. Acknowledge. Is there anything else I can do for you? I presume this is a notable impatience due to your desire to attend the festivities on the holodeck." Aha, 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 aha. May I remind you, your duty shift does not terminate for another 34 minutes. However, I believe the holodeck power conduits would benefit from a routine inspection. Yes, sir! Then something happens to stop Kim's exit. So then we go back to the holodeck. So we go back to the holodeck, and it's cake time. That purple thing is a birthday cake. And she's got to blow out the candles. She's got to make a wish. This has all got to be explained. All these Earth customs. And then we have a moment that's going to haunt the whole episode. A little bit of a moment. So, Tom gives her a birthday present. A locket. Um, and the kind that you put pictures of your loved ones in. And Nelix, the jealousy meter in his poor little head, he's so upset by this that uh Paris gave her this lovely present, and he used 2 weeks worth of rations to do it. And in the moment of Neelix's little uh, uh, venting to Chakotay, did you see? He gave her a present. Blah blah blah. Tuvok interrupts. We've encountered a phenomenon. It goes on. The transmission, the audio is not so good. I'm being ignored while I'm doing my video. I'm being ignored. She's ignoring me. She's right on the other side of the computer. She's over there. She's ignoring me. So we go to credits after the little incident on the bridge. Because I don't need this. Tuvok's voice continues to echo through through the holodeck. They don't know what's going on. B'Elanna thinks there may be something wrong with the comm system. They try contacting the bridge again. So that's what they're looking at out their viewer. These readings indicate the space ahead of us is literally changing shape. My best guess is some type of spatial distortion wave. It's the anomaly responsible for the comm system malfunction? I think so. It's generating intense pulses of EM radiation. If we don't get out of its way, it's going to intercept us in less than 10 minutes. Acknowledge. Full reverse, Ensign. So they try to go backwards and they can't go backwards. The distortion completely surrounding us like a ring. If we can't go around it, then we'll have to go through it. There's no telling what it'll do to the ship. From what you've told me, Ensign, the distortion ring will make contact with this momentarily. Whether we attempt to pass through it or not, contact with us momentarily. Whether we attempt to pass through it or not, I prefer to minimum the amount of time the contact lasts. Shields at full. Warp 3. Maybe they should have gone a little faster. Warp 9, Warp 10, Warp 11. Hey, we just got some good news the other day. Well, about a month ago. And we may get more news over the summer. Maybe. There's a Stargate coming. We're going to open some chevrons, maybe. I know most of you are thinking this is really old news. If you're still here, I appreciate you still being here. Um, but there may be some more chevrons coming. So I said on one of the pages a little while ago, I said, if we can get a Stargate miracle, can we get a Charmed miracle? That's my other. That's my other wish. There was one more. There was three, but Stargate and Charmed were my two wishes for sequels. Oh, and 1,000 subscribers too. Um. So the distortion ring has collapsed the warp field. The engines are offline. Find the captain and inform her of her status. Yes, sir. And this is when the problems start to occur. So when he goes to report to the captain, he runs into Baxter. I've been trying to report a problem in the gym, but the comm system seems to be down. We've encountered a spatial distortion. It's knocked out several systems. Maybe that explains why the gym got so cold. Cold? I didn't notice it at first. I was working out so hard. Then I realized it was under 10 degrees Celsius. The environmental controls didn't respond to my commands, and neither did the comm system. Engines are offline too. I'm looking for the captain to let her know what's going on. Should I report to my duty station? It might not be a bad idea until we find out exactly what's going on. Everybody should be on standby. I'll round up the security team, he says. So this didn't turn out right, did it? So they're by the turbo lift. The first thing I want to do when we get to the bridge is establish a remote comm link to engineering. I want to know exactly what's going on. Aye, Captain. Where are we? Paris says deck 4. If the comm system is malfunctioning, the computer could be misreading our voice commands. That might explain why it took us here instead of the bridge. We'd better try setting the controls manually. Then Nelix is asking her if she enjoyed her birthday party. Come here. Come here. Come here. I thought you'd like it. The cake, the presents. What was your favorite part? I suppose what I liked best was all my friends were there. Ah, that was nice, wasn't it? And don't forget what a beautiful necklace Tom Paris gave you. Here comes the jealousy. Did you really like it? Oh, why wouldn't I? Paris obviously has excellent taste. I was afraid you might be a little jealous. Who, me? Don't be silly. Are you sure? You, my dearest, have seen the last of the green-eyed pus hog called jealousy. I'm glad. Of course, Paris did replicate the locket, whereas I baked the Jajillian cake from scratch. I did it from scratch. It was homemade. These aren't my quarters. Did we just take a wrong turn? I was following you. Things are starting to happen. Yes, ma'am. So then Balana thinks she's going into engineering and she ends up in the mess hall. So then we're back with Janeway. Someone take a look at the turbolift voice receptors, Commander. Aye, Captain. This is engineering. What's going on down there? It looks like we're dealing with more than just a comm system malfunction. Computer bridge. So then she's ending up in the transporter room after walking down different corridors. Baxter, what are you doing here? I wish I knew. I was trying to get to the cargo bay. I'm trying to get to engineering. I can't find the cargo bay and I can't find my security team. I've been wandering around for 10 minutes. Well, at least I know I'm not crazy unless we both are. No, something very strange is going on. Ensign Kim said we'd encountered a spatial distortion. Did he say what kind? No, he went to find the captain. The captain is on her way to the bridge, but she's having the same trouble we are. Who knows if she can get there. I'm going to keep trying to get to engineering. Baxter says good luck. So then we're on the holodeck, and the doctor's there. He said, "This is infuriating. Oh, stop playing games, ma chérie. I know why you keep coming back to work, even though your bartending shift is over. To see me, of course. How many times do I tell you, madam, I'm a doctor, not a bartender? So there's the doctor hanging out in the holodeck where he doesn't want to be. For your information, so he's here, right? And then he runs into Kim. Shoot. Kim says, I'm the captain and the others went to investigate the phenomenon, Mr. Tuvok reported. So all of you heard that his report from the comm system failed. Only a fraction of it. Well, I'm sure Tuvok's filled them in with the rest by now. What are you still doing on the holodeck besides playing doctor, that is? For your information, I've been trying to attempt to transfer myself back to sickbay, but each time I try, I reappear here. That's strange. Not to mention extremely irritating. I can't seem to shut down Mr. Paris's holo program either. Computer end holo program, Paris 3. Computer arc, either the holometers are malfunctioning or the computer's not accepting voice commands. I'm sorry, Doctor, I don't have time to help you right now. Wait just a minute. What do you think you're doing? I've got to get back to the bridge. We're in the middle of a crisis. All the more reason I should be back in sick bay. I'm sure the captain and the others will be able to do without you for a few minutes. I guess you're right. I'll have a look at the holo program. So then we're back with Kes and Nelix trying to find her room, and they can't find it. They're going down all the different corridors, and they're still talking about Paris's gift. So then Kim runs into Balana. Harry, Balana, shouldn't you be in engineering? What are you doing here? Just answer one question, Starfleet. Where is here? What? Where am I? Outside holodeck 2. Are you feeling okay? I've been walking in circles for the past 20 minutes trying to get to engineering. And they run into Kes and Nelix. I don't know if I'll get this shot again, so I'm just going to show this now. So then everybody else shows up. So they all go back into the holodeck. Let me get this straight. This distortion ring has completely immobilized. We have no means of communication with the bridge or any other part of the ship. And no matter where any of us have tried to go, the bridge engineering, Kess's quarters, we all eventually end up right here at deck 6. The bridge is on deck 1. Engineering is on deck 7. Deck 6 is halfway in between, right? So if we're being surrounded by this ring, maybe it's pushing us all to the center of the ring. But it's not just that we're being led back here. I mean, rooms are in the wrong place. It's impossible that the distortion ring is somehow changing the layout of the ship. There's another possibility, the doc says. Exposure to some types of EM radiation have been known to cause hallucination. Perhaps it's not the ship that's undergone changes, but rather your perception of it. Unfortunately, without my medical equipment to analyze your optic nerves, there's no way to tell. Janeway says, we'll never figure it out sitting here. We need more information about this phenomenon. Sensor readings, computer analysis. We have to find a way back to the bridge. If we can't get back on foot, the turbolift, maybe we can rig a site-to-site transfer. Beam ourselves to the bridge. We'd have to get a transporter room first, or to engineering, wherever that is, Balana says. Paris says, when we tried to get to the bridge, one of the places the turbolift took us was engineering. Maybe if we repeat our steps, it'll take us back there. It's worth a shot, Janeway says. Lieutenant Parrish, you're a Torres. Maybe we can get to the bridge through a Jeffries tube. If I remember my specs correctly, there should be an emergency access conduit which leads directly from this deck to deck 1, right behind the bridge. I like to keep trying to get to the bridge on foot. If the ship has been reconfigured somehow, I can get a deck-by-deck picture of what it looks like as I go. What's going to keep you from getting lost? I'll get a tricorder from the storage locker, rigged to emit a photoplasmic trail. Right. We should be able to get tricorders, set them on active scan, gather as much information as we can on what's happening on the ship. May I request that Kes be allowed to stay here with me? Besides helping stave off the predatory advances of that woman, she may be able to help me find a way to transfer myself to sick bay. And, sir, I'll assist Commander Chakotay, Captain. As you may have heard, my tracking skills are legendary throughout the conjure. Is that all right with you, Mr. Kim? I'm with you. Let's go. Okay, so Balana and Paris have made it to engineering. Finally, let's get to work. We've got an emergency situation on board ship. I don't have time to go into details, but you're all to remain at your posts until otherwise notified. Whether on or not your duty shifts are over. Ensign, prepare to configure transport assistance from site-to-site transport. I've got to reset the pattern buffering controls. In the meantime, why don't you check the targeting scanners? Taurus... Wait a second. So here's Taurus, and she opens one of the side doors in engineering, and she opens it into someone's private quarters. It's a cute scene. You gotta watch it. So then we're in the hallway, Nelix and Chakotay. Commander, I would imagine you've had some experience with women. Some. Come on now, a handsome guy like you. Nelix, what is this about? Have you ever been jealous? Of course. Have you? I imagine most people who've been in love have been jealous at one time or another. I see. It's a perfectly normal response. Then why is it so unpleasant? Jealousy is about the fear of losing someone we love. There's no greater pain than that, Nelix. Are you afraid of going to lose Kes to someone? No, I mean, I don't think so. At least I hope not. I just can't seem to stop thinking these awful feelings. Stop, Nelix. We know Paris gets a woman at the end of the series, a permanent one, and it's not Kes. Oh, and by the way, you get a woman too, and it's not Kes. So then they meet up with Baxter. And, Commander, if I get to see you, do you have any idea what's going on here? Not exactly. Well, I've been wandering around for hours. I can't find the Chicago Bay. Have you seen anyone else? Any more of the crew? Some people roaming around like me. A couple of times I wound up in the mess hall. There were quite a few people there. I suggest you make your way back there. Tell everybody you run in to come with you, and all of you stay in the mess hall until we figure out what's going on. Aye, Commander. So then they're walking down the hall and they run into Tuvok. What are you doing here? This is an interesting question, Commander. I'm not sure how I arrived at this location. You're lost too. Indeed, when I received no word for you and the captain, I let until Lieutenant Isla in command and came to look for you myself. Can you lead us back to the bridge? I do not believe so. When I first realized I was lost, I attempted to retrace my steps, only to find myself here. None of us have been able to reach the bridge. In fact, Nelix and I can't seem to get off deck 6. Strange, I thought we were on deck 3. What was your status when you left the bridge? The ring had penetrated our shields and is now in direct contact with the hull. That maybe it's possible the distortions are somehow reconfiguring the ship. And Nelix is wandering around behind them as they're having this conversation, and he disappears. So then Janeway and Kim are in the Jeffries tube. I want you to know you've been one of the bright spots of this whole mission. You've exceeded any expectations I might have had in you. Thank you, Captain. I appreciate that. Wait a minute. Down there. I think that's the conduit leading to the bridge. Good work. Maybe we'll get some answers. That's the hatch, Captain. This should let us go into the cargo hold. It's not working. Let's try it manually. They can't open the hatch. It's stuck. The hatch flies open and Jane, her arm disappears. One of those special effect things. I can't get my arm out. He manages to pull her back. She still has her arm. I'm reading an intense electromagnetic change on the other side of that hatch. That must be what's been pulling you in. It's as if everything on the other side is in a state of structural flux. The walls, the atmosphere. and the sequence of those fluctuations matching the readings from the distortion region. This phenomenon isn't just occurring in space, it's definitely inside the ship as well. We're going to have to regroup and come up with a plan for combating this thing. And then Janeway has something wrong with her eyes. So then we're back on the holodeck. Cass comes in. Please tell me you've had some success in reinitializing the holo emitters. I did exactly what you told me to do, but it didn't work. Of course not. I'm starting to get worried about Nelix. What's taking them so long? Oh, trust me, Cherie, you're better off without them. All men are alike. In the end, they can always break your heart. And Kim happens to show up carrying Janeway. So then we're back in the hallway with Tuvok and Chakotay. I believe we should go this way, Commander. What makes you say that? If we are indeed trapped in some sort of labyrinth, then the logical course is to systematically eliminate all routes that do not lead us to our desired destination. That route will be the correct one. Since we have been making a series of right turns, we should continue to do so until we are certain the path is not the proper one. There's a flaw in that logic. How so, Commander? You're assuming there's a logical pattern to the maze we're caught in, but so far I haven't seen any evidence of that. Even within chaotic system, there is a pattern of limited predictability. By the time we figure out that pattern, these distortions may completely overrun the ship. That's possible. The important thing is for at least one of us to make it back to the bridge. So why don't you go on your way and I'll go mine? Then we'll increase the chances that one of us will be successful. As you wish. Then we'd make a brief stop in engineering. Then Paris and Taurus materialize on top of the pool table. And Chakotay's there. Tell me you've made it to the bridge and you've come back here to report status. We locked coordinates onto the bridge, but this is where we ended up. Apparently, Chakotay and Tuvok are in the holodeck too. So everybody's back in the holodeck. Not only has no one been able to reach the bridge, but the captain came in contact with a special distortion and is now unconscious. That's not all. We lost Nelix too. Lost him? He turned a corner and he was just gone. We think the spatial distortions are continuing changing the configuration of the corridors. Cass must be worried sick. And it isn't just Nelix who's missing. Where's the rest of the crew? It is likely they are too trapped in other parts of the ship, cut off from communication and unable to find their way out. So what do we do now? This wave is obviously causing some kind of radical reconfiguration of the ship. If we're going to try to reverse it, if not, we may never be able to get to the bridge. How are we supposed to reverse something we don't understand, Torres says. No matter where we go, we end up here. Corridors are realigning. Rooms are in the wrong place. What's the pattern? We must certainly benefit from having an accurate picture of what the ship currently looks like. That way, we would have a better chance of getting where we want to go. Maybe we could make a map. Ensign, one good thing about wandering we've been doing is what we've been collecting a lot of tricoded data about the structural changes that have been taking place, Kim says. And if we feed all that information into the central database, the computer might be able to extrapolate a schematic of the ship as it stands now. He's like, what are we waiting for? Chakotay says, let's get to it. So this is what the ship currently looks like now. They've lost most of it. So then we go back to the holodeck again. Who'd want to attack us and why? There's no clear evidence of an intelligence behind the phenomenon. It's still possible we are dealing with a natural occurring anomaly, which does not conform to the known laws of physics. Don't you think it's a little late to be speculating on who or what this thing is? The important thing now is that we find out some way of stopping it. Balan is right, Chakotay says. It seems to me we've got two options. One, find a way to get out of this ourselves, out of this implosion ring, or two, we find some way of reversing it. Kim says, invert the effect, turn the implosion into an explosion. Exactly. If I'm can get back to engineering, I may be able to generate a shock pulse strong enough to do just that. Of course, I'd have to raise the pressure in the warp core to near critical. A shock pulse of the magnitude would create a subatomic particle shower all over the ship, which could set off a chain reaction that could not only cause the ring to implode out with Joy, but Voyager along with it. Not if I can precisely tune the shock to this pulse distortion, the frequency of the ring. That would be exceptional, Tuvok says. If you don't give it a try, we're going to get crushed anyway. Personally, I'd rather go down fighting. I must remind you that with the comm system down, we have no means of altering the rest of the crew to a potential lethal partial shower. Do you have another suggestion, Mr. Tuvok? I believe it would be safe to attempt to access the navigational ray from here. Engage thrusters to steer us out of the ring. Can't we try both, Kim says? It's much too dangerous to have someone working on the navigational ray during a shock pulse. Besides, the ship is too contorted. There's no reason to expect we'd have any navigational control. All right, B'Elanna, let's give your plan a shot. Commander Chakotay, yes, Lieutenant. I feel compelled to point out, in my many years of experience as Captain Janeway's tactical officer, she often demonstrated a tendency to follow my... In case you haven't noticed, Chakotay says, Janeway's not in condition to make decisions. I'm in command. Is that understood? Yes, sir. Good. B'Elanna, you and Harry get to engineering. Evacuate whoever's on duty, then initiate the warp impulse. So then we're in engineering. They've made it there with no problems, I guess. The lithium matrix antimatter reactor is at 80% critical. Let's keep it that way. Warp core pressure is at 36 megapascals. When it reaches 53, it'll trigger the shock impulse. We should get out of here by the time it hits 50. Acknowledged. 41. Kim says 44. It went so fast I didn't catch it, but they had shifted to the holodeck, and they show the holodeck experiencing some kind of earthquake. Then we go back to engineering, and Kim is counting 47, 48, 49. So then Kim and B'Elanna run out of engineering. And they get to a door that's going like this. And then, well, in spite of Tuvok's dire predictions, we haven't blown the ship to pieces, have we? No, and radiation levels are within acceptable tolerance. Good. Let's get in there and see if we had any electros bursting this implosion ring. Hold it, what? I'm reading a massive distortion behind the door. And the door is going like this, too. So then we're back on the holodeck looking at the captain. Janeway becomes conscious and she goes, Dark Gam. What's wrong with her? It's possible the spatial distortions have damaged her speech center. Chakotay didn't work. Instead of forcing the implosion outward, the impulse ring is drawing in at a faster rate. You're saying it made things worse? I don't think we have more than a few minutes. Paris, we have to get the navigational ray and give Tuvok's plan a try. I'm afraid there's no longer time for that. Why not? The distortion is affecting the holodeck. We're not going anywhere. Tuvok scans the encroaching distortion when Torres and Kim work at the holodeck control. Do you think it's possible to protect a stable holographic force field? We've tried that. Everything. Here, let's go. And they go through some more stuff. Okay, the problem with this section is that it's like he talks, his camera, him coming. There's no group thing, so it's on everybody's faces. Oh, excuse me. Are you suggesting we just let it crush us? Precisely. I can't believe I'm hearing this from you. I agree, it sounds completely illogical. On the contrary, when every logical course of action is exhausted, the only option that remains is inaction. So, they're watching the room collapse around them. There we go. I finally got a group shot of the rest of the team. And the pool table starts to buckle too. And Janeway's been trying to say something. So, I can't stop it, everybody. They did it though. Every time someone spoke, the camera went to their face. But Chakotay says, um, uh, where was it? I just had it. Whatever this thing is, Balane, it's bigger and more powerful than we are. Maybe this one bear we can't wrestle to the ground. Maybe, like Tuvok says, there's nothing we can do but let it happen and hope for the best. Fine, Chakotay, have it your way. Commander Chakotay, yes, Mr. Tuvok, I want to thank you for endorsing my recommendation. You know, Tuvok, I may not get another chance to say this. Sometimes I find you an arrogant and irritating, but you're a hell of an officer. Thank you, sir. And since we are speaking candidly, sir, may I say that I have not always particularly partial to your methods either. Um, then Kim says, can I ask you a question? Paris, fire away. Are you afraid? Of course I'm afraid, and I guess I always knew it could come to this, but yeah, I'm afraid too. Me too. I'm so worried about Nelix. I wish I could be with him, Kes says. Uh, and, they get it gets a little shaky. Let me see if I can catch it. I don't know if I can catch it. So Balana and Chakotay have a heart-to-heart too. So then, Janeway becomes consciousness, and she says, "You were delirious. It was some sort of message. What was the spatial distortion? It was trying to communicate with us." So we've all made it back to the bridge. Everything is a-okay. I want a full assistance report, Mr. Kim, Mr. Tuvok. I want every iota of information that was recorded regarding that phenomenon. The distortion rings directly ahead of us, Paris says. Captain, it's moving away from us at 2000 kph. We got a full crew complement, Chakotay says. No injuries reported. Torres says no damage to the hull or ship systems. Incredible. You're not going to believe this, Captain, but we're 20 million gigaquads of new information have been input into the ship's computer. Where did it come from? My guess is it came from the distortion ring. Somebody's definitely trying to tell us something, Janeway says. That's not all, Captain. Our entire database has been copied and downloaded into somebody else's system. I guess whoever they are, they want to know everything they can about us, Chakotay says. Maybe it's their only way of communicating with us. Maybe they were just trying to say hello, Nelix says. So Nelix comes in with the cake. Nelix, what happened to you? It's going to be a long story. I'll tell you about it right now. Right now, it's time to finish your party. Nelix, I need a photograph of you. For what, sweetie? From now on, even when we're separated, I want to have you where I can keep my eye on you. And that made Nelix so happy. And that's where the episode ends. If I can get it. And that's it. So I guess next week we'll be doing Partition and then Perverse Vision. We've done the other two now. I don't know why they did them out of order, but this is how they did them. I hope you will have a pleasant day, and please don't forget to watch the If Then later this afternoon. Have a good one.